Up for Discussion Live. Hosted by Jeff Sylvia and Shannon Sylvia. Bringing you the hottest topics, the coolest guests, and a live chat. So you can be part of it all. Up for Discussion Live starts now.
All right, everyone, and hello, and welcome to the weekly talk show where everything is up for discussion, live here with me, Jeff, and as alongside, always, the lovely and beautiful Shannon. Hello, Shannon.
Good evening, folks. Good evening, Jeffrey.
How are you doing, kiddo?
I'm good.
It's been a crazy week here in the world, as usual, and we're here to break it all down for you guys tonight. We got a lot of stuff going on. We got a busy show to get to tonight, surprisingly, and it starts off, Shannon, with my beard. It's kind of the biggest thing that's up for discussion this week is keep the beard, don't keep the beard. I saw myself on camera today, and I have to admit to you, kid, that
it's a little much.
The gray coming through now is a little alarming.
Yeah, you should be. It's there, and I mean, there's ways to prevent that. You could just cut it down a little, so it's not so in your face. But
well, I did go to the Facebook page and appreciate everybody for chiming in. Had a little bit more salt than pepper in the beard, and there were some interesting comments, not only shave it down, the little Grecian formula maybe, what is it, just for men, I think was one of the suggestions.
Yeah, we don't want to go there.
I think the funniest one was from Karen, who said, shave the damn thing off, then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Being whatever color.
When it's a little bit more sea salt than pepper.
Yeah, we're pretty sea salt. We're pretty sea salt.
I love you no matter what. I mean, you're my husband, but I just feel that, now that we're losing the tan.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Just
it's
saying.
It's a bit scruffy, I'd say.
I mean, I haven't shaved my legs in 3 weeks for as long as you haven't shaved your face.
This is a protest that could amount to
I learned from the best at Market Basket.
Right? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you want to do, but we have a special occasion this weekend to celebrate, so I'm hoping you go a little bit cleaner. I do. I really do, because I'm at a wedding.
Well, it's at the point, it's one of those things where it's the point of no return. Like, this is the ugliest it's going to get. So you either go for it, and you fill it all in and make it look all nicey nice, or you just get rid of it altogether. So
yeah, I mean, are we trying to go for Duck Dynasty here or what? I mean, what are you trying to prove? Are you trying to stay warmer?
I'd go for Anthrax before I'd go for Duck Dynasty.
You're not going to do that. You're not in a rock band, Jeff.
3 or 4 different stripes in it. I'd do it just to get your attention.
You're not in a rock band. We don't need to look like we are. I had to even consult with the right shade of red for my hair color.
You did, and did very well.
I think it's fine.
I got to admit, when you first told me that you were going to be a redhead, that I had my concerns because I had always been used to as a blonde, maybe a little bit of a brunette, and red was quite a change. But I got to admit it looks good with your eyes and your skin tone, and it kind of went through the summer with the tan thing. It still looked pretty good. So
I had a tan for about 3 days. I like the red. It's easier to be a redhead than it is to be a blonde. So
that's what they say.
Hey, and I'm having fun. Nothing is preventing me.
Nothing's preventing you from having fun, even though you're not a blonde.
Hip in the chat room, redheads are hot.
There you go. There you go. Indeed.
I don't know. I'm under protest, so I'll be. I bought many boxes of red hair dye to last me at least until another 9 more months. So you're stuck with this.
All right, that's all right. It's all good. I want to say hello to you, the redhead, and hello to all of you in the chat room. Hello to all of you watching, not only on your handheld mobile devices around the world, but also on your television sets at our friends at LATV in LA, Shannon, the Leominster area. You always wanted to be on TV in LA, and there we are. And
I was on TV in LA, but we're good.
And also in Hudson, New Hampshire. And we also want to say hi to our friends over at B&E, too, who are, sounds like breaking and entering.
B&E.
Yeah, it's the Broadcast Nation Entertainment, B&E. Yeah, we're just B&E-ing, that's all.
We're good.
We want you guys to stay in touch with us. You can call us throughout the show on that number right there, 323-902-6661. And it's also your way to stay in touch with us when we're not live with you for an hour. We're here, for an hour a week. We love to talk to you. We love to hear what's going on in the chat room. But we also love to hear from you when we're not here, and that's your opportunity to talk to us. You can leave us a message 24/7. You can give us your profound thoughts, your statements, your complaints, suggestions, concerns, all that stuff. 323-902-6661. And you can also go to our Facebook page, and you can also put up something there. If you choose to hide behind the keyboard, if you don't want to speak out and just kind of type it on out there, you can do that as well. And you can simply do that by hitting that QR code, Shannon, because I'm now caught up to the times. I'm using QR code to get us to the Facebook page. Pretty cool for an old geek like me.
I don't even know how to do that, to be honest with you.
It's pretty cool,
that's
huh?
pretty damn
I'm
cool.
like telling you stuff now, which is
no
pretty
kidding.
cool.
I'm just saying, you're going to do that for my website. But
I have a list. We're going to do that. We're going to do that everywhere. It's the newest, coolest thing. So, like, if I put that up on the television, right, people can just walk up, or even if I keep it here, like if we put it right there in front of us throughout the show, you guys can walk up, simply get the QR code reader. It's a free app in the Play Store. You walk up to the TV and you go, and there you are. You're on a Facebook page.
Do you know that
Just like
while
as if
you
you know
are
where you're
talking
going.
about our QR code, somebody in the chat room says, gingers have no souls. Every freckle they gain is a soul they have stolen. What's
true.
wrong with you people?
But you're not a ginger kid. You're
but-
you're an adopted ginger thing.
We're
You're not
talking
really.
about QR codes, guys. Can we chat about QR codes? Because the redhead stuff was long gone. I know there's a 5-second lag.
It's only a 5-second delay, guys. That's all. But we do want to remind you guys, if you can't catch the show live, or if you're so far behind that you have gotten lost in the chat room conversation and missed everything that we talked about, you can always catch us on YouTube later on. You can catch all the highlights from the show, not only here on Up for Discussion, but all of the great shows on the PTV Webcast Network. And Shannon, a real quick special hello to our friends over there at Village Pizza in North Leominster.
Best pizza.
We definitely want to thank them for their continued support.
What a
And to
beautiful
find out
logo.
more, you can call them at 978-343-7722. Now, we got a lot going on in the world here, Shannon. We've got some breaking news, but I guess I want to first check with you because you're kind of the the TMZ Hollywooder type chick that stays in touch with everything going on around. What's the latest with Joan Rivers? Is she still with us? Or what's
Guys,
the scoop?
Joan Rivers is 81 years old, is still in a coma after 5 days. So I'm going to make my own Shannon prediction here. There's going to be a point where the family has decided to take her off life support. She went in for a routine vocal cord surgery. In fact, she planned on recovering from that fast. She was already booked to appear at another nightclub the next day.
Really?
And during the surgery, she stopped breathing. So they had to life flight her to another hospital and put her on life support. She's been in a coma. Very, very strange.
It's kind of
just like
sad.
that,
It
but
is.
perhaps, perhaps she really isn't 81 years old. Perhaps she's just a hell of a lot older than
maybe
that.
she's 108 and had just been
Maybe it's just really her time before her time. 81-year-old body and 12-year-old face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like Hip is saying in the chat room here. Any surgery under anesthesia it can be dangerous. Anybody can stop breathing, no matter how old you are, and it is sad. I hope that she does recover without any repercussions. I don't know. I mean, I do enjoy her shows. Everybody enjoys her wit and her rudeness because we turn in. It's like watching a car accident. But so she's hopefully recovering. There's lots of prayers coming in. And Angelina and Brad wed.
Big
Finally.
deal.
It was a big secret, guys.
Well,
Huge
it's about
secret.
time. I mean, they only adopted 14 kids. They at least ought to do
Well,
it
they've
right.
had more kids than
Mom
they've
and daddy.
adopted, though.
That's right.
They've actually given birth to quite a few. I maybe it's 50-50 at this point. Nathan is the one that watches everything.
That's
Nathan
true.
can chat in,
He's our,
chime in. How many
official movie correspondent.
natural childbirths has she had compared to adoptions, Nathan? So let's get that statistic, and we'll share that with you.
That is
And
sad.
so really, as far as trendy stuff, TMZ stuff, that's all I have.
Well, it's just sad that if she does go, it's sad that she has to go this way. I mean, it's kind of not on her terms. She was kind of in the operating room and something went wrong. I mean, I don't know. I don't see this. I don't want this to be her end. I really don't.
I don't either.
And besides her and Barbara Walters, I'm not Barbara Walters. Who's the other old one there?
Oh, same thing.
Well, Barbara Walters, and who's the Betty White?
Oh, Betty White's still going.
God, she's still going then.
Yeah, but you know that something bad's going to happen soon. So, I mean, she's old, really old. But, I mean, 81, Betty White's like 90-something.
Yeah.
She's still ticking, but I just think something as trivial as a vocal cord surgery should not be her demise. And I'm sure that the jokes are already forming out there somewhere.
Well, but, it is true. She's had a ton of surgeries, and not for nothing, but it's not the best thing to do to keep putting your body through that for any reason. I mean, they always tell you limit the number of surgeries if you possibly can.
Yeah.
And she's had so many elective surgeries that, maybe she just drew the short straw on this one. I don't know. Oof.
I think it's 3 and 3. I think she's had 3 children natural. There was 1 set of twins and 1 other, and then 3 adopted. So there's 6 total.
Oh, we back to Angelina?
I don't know. Nathan chatted something else that has...
You're going to have Joan Richards giving birth.
Joan Richards? Who the hell is Joan Richards? Do we know a Joan Richards somewhere?
I actually do know a Joan Richards.
You mean Rivers?
Joan Rivers. You're going to have Joan Rivers giving birth while in a coma to 3 extra kids. That's the way this whole story's going. We never know.
The kids had plastic surgery.
And all the kids had plastic surgery before they came out.
If
you're just tuning in, you must be thoroughly concerned and confused at this point, because we are talking about Joan Rivers and hoping that she hangs on with us a little bit more. And speaking of like new and exciting stuff this weekend, Shannon, I know this isn't your thing, kid, but the NFL kicks off this week. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, football is back, and we are happy. It actually happens this Thursday is the first game, and then we roll right into a full-fledged Sunday extravaganza of morning, afternoon, and evening football, of course, followed up by Monday Night Football, and then it just rolls right through there through hopefully February when we'll still be playing. But I'll say this, as far as the power rankings go, and I know you don't even know what those are, Shannon, I think they got it all wrong this year, kid.
I know what Power Rangers are.
I know you do. But I can't be the only one excited about football. There's a lot of football fans out there.
No, you're probably not, Jeff.
There is. And the funny thing is, they just discovered today, expatriate Wes Welker is now suspended for 4 games for testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. So congratulations to the Denver Broncos for picking up Wes Welker, and a tough one going there.
Has anyone told them yet that they're not supposed to do that? I mean,
the thing is, he's been injured a lot, and that's where it comes from. You get these players that really want to just either extend their careers or face a career-ending injury, and they really get backed into a corner and have no choice. If they want to keep performing at that level, all of a sudden, here comes the performance-enhancing drugs. And, random drug testing. Maybe you get caught, maybe you don't. But
I know, but
not a good thing.
And then what is 4 games of this guy? Come on. A little slap on the wrist.
It's a quarter of the season. It's a 16-game season, so that's 1 quarter of the season. Could make a hell of a difference, especially with home field advantage in the playoffs. And, if you're playing for the Denver Broncos, who went to the Super Bowl last year, there's a lot to lose. So there's a lot surrounding the Denver Broncos, and not in a positive way as the NFL gets started. But we'll see how it happens. We'll see where it goes, Big breaking news. It started out as a protest of workers, soon joined by vendors and customers alike, standing united for this gentleman right here, Arthur T. DeMolis, who was ousted from his company after, I want to say, 40-some-odd years of service, Shannon. And many, many weeks of protests going by, and they finally got what they wanted, Shannon. They got their CEO back, and life is good again at DeMolis. Now, here's the kicker, folks, for those who may or may not have been following the story. This is a non-union company, and I know I've said this in the past as we've covered this, but that's pretty significant, Shannon, because to me, these people are patriots, and I think the rest of the country and the rest of the world should take notice of this, because think about it. You get pissed off at the corporation, or you get some of the bigwigs in the corporation that are getting greedy. We've all worked for them. I know you've worked for them in the past before you were self-employed. you know how it goes. You would do anything in this day and age to be self-employed and not work for the man. But if you happen to be working for, let's call it the man, and the man get really greedy, what do you do about it? Usually nothing. Or if you have a union, the union goes on strike, everything goes to hell. You don't usually get a quick or complete resolve at that point. But here we are. The workforce walks out and says, we're not working until RDT comes back. And management comes back to them and says, well, screw you then. We're going to fire you all. And all of a sudden, here come the truckers and the vendors saying, you fire them, we're not delivering your product, so you have nothing to sell. And on top of all that, Shannon, the customers are what really make the statement, because they hold the almighty dollar, and that's what makes the whole thing
People
tick.
boycotted the stores, the employees boycotted the stores, the vendors boycott. I mean, it was massive. There was nothing coming into that store.
I mean, look at this is a shot of the protests that are happening. We're talking thousands of people, and these are in multiple locations in 2 states. They had both governors of both states involved. Many discussions. And to me, Shannon, it was just a very bad divorce that should have happened a long time ago. And unfortunately, I should say fortunately, they got through it without ruining what has come to be known as a very good family and wholesome company here in the United States. So hats off, man. Hats off to Market Basket and their employees. We got to hand it to you. You guys are absolutely true patriots. We applaud you, and we ask the rest of the country to take notice about how, when people can stand together, how things can get done. And we happen to have a neighbor, a close living neighbor here, who is one of the executives at Market Basket. And, there was nothing that was guaranteed. I mean, he went every day to these protests not knowing if he was going to have a job. And he had put his entire life into this company. Here's a guy that had worked there, Shannon, since he was 16 years old. Not really going to guess how old is he now. Probably, mid-30s, 40s, wherever. But he's put his entire life into this job, working his way up the corporate ladder, if you will, and he put it all on the line, just like everybody else. And there was never, ever wavering, which was really, really cool. You heard Market Basket come out and say, we're putting a deadline on this, and we're going to fire everybody on Friday.
Every week.
They
we're
did
firing
that
you
3 or 4 times, and everybody said, not going to happen. We're standing firm, and until RDT comes back, we're not budging.
How did these the part-timers hold off for 6 weeks without working? Can you imagine?
That's tough. It is tough. I know some of them probably went to Shaw's or to other companies.
They had a job market fair at Hannaford's.
Yep.
They were trying to hire all those people.
Well, temporarily, I mean, it was a shit show.
The thing is, though, once Market Basket reopened, so Hannaford, what are they going to do with all these extra employees? Because now you're going to have all the customers going back to Market Basket. I think
they'll be shifting. They'll definitely be shifting back to where they were before. And I think most of them will be welcome with their jobs back. I think, if you're a young person with a family and you were part-time and you're just trying to hold on, it got to the point where you're either going to eat or not eat. I mean, I know there were fundraisers for these folks and collections being made, but it's certainly not enough with the thousands of workers that were protesting in this thing. But geez, all's well that ends well, and I couldn't be prouder of Market Basket employees. I think it says a lot when the average Joe Schmo can stand up to the man like that and get it done. I think it's just the coolest thing in the world, Shannon.
Okay. Well, I hope someone has my back like that someday. I do.
Well, I hear you. All right, guys, we're going to step out. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have a lot more for you guys, including yours right there. Your little lovely Shannon Sylvia brings you the Who Does That, because we can't make this stuff up. Stick around. You're watching Up for Discussion live here on PararockTV.com and on LATV.
Up for Discussion with Jeff and Shannon Sylvia. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Up for Discussion live with Jeff and Shannon is brought to you in part by Bailey's Bar and Grill, Sasquatch Coffee, and Village Pizza.
Hey everyone, this is Scott Rothenfield from Queensrÿche, and you're watching Terror Rock TV.
And now back to Up for Discussion, right here on Terror Rock TV.
When you hear that music, it can only mean one thing. It's that segment of the program when Shannon Sylvia asks, who does that? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shannon Sylvia.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening,
Who
Shannon.
does that segment of the show? Brought to you by Ms. Shannon Sylvia. Mrs. Sorry.
We are getting remarried again in a few weeks,
We are
right?
getting married again.
All right.
So maybe I am Miss Sylvia.
Yeah, I guess you can be Ms. in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. What does that make me? Like Mrs. Squared in a couple weeks? I don't know.
I guess so.
Anywho, first story of the night comes out of Texas. Daycare center drama. Texas couple has filed lawsuit against the owners of a Fort Worth area daycare center seeking $1 million in damages.
This is terrible.
From this facility for duct taping a 2-year-old boy to a mat because he was unruly at nap time, their lawyers said on Wednesday. I wonder how they figured that out.
Wow.
Christy and Brad Galbraith are suing for fraud and negligence in the incident that occurred in June at the Heart to Heart Montessori Academy in Willow Park.
Sounds wholesome
Heart to
enough.
Heart. Yeah, it really sounds very sweet.
Oh, yeah.
This is a parent's worst nightmare, says the attorney. Parents take a leap of faith to entrust their children in the care of somebody else. It is extremely upsetting when something like this happens to a toddler who are too young to speak up for themselves. The daycare center was not immediately available for comment, but has said it is cooperating with authorities. The staff and I have the best interest of the children and parents as our highest priority, it said in a statement in June. A couple claims in the suit that it was their son who was in a widely circulated photograph that gained national attention, which showed a child wrapped in a blanket and bound to a nap mat with silver duct tape.
Oh, my God.
The photo was taken by a former employee who sent it to the Galbraiths and told them that their son was one of the 2 children duct taped that day to the mats, according to the lawsuit.
Oh, my God.
Who does that?
Kudos to the former
my God.
employee for speaking up. Kudos. I hope that was the only day that ever happened. But
Obscure reference, we did a story earlier a few months ago about a vet clinic where they had said that they had put the dog down.
Your dog is getting put down.
And they never put the dog down, and that was
God.
also uncovered by an ex-employee. So
wicked,
kudos.
horrifying to know that your dog, who you thought was so sick that had to be put down, was actually in a back room being experimented on with drugs and. Oh my God! I mean, I can't even fathom my poor babies that I've had to put down. Were alive the whole time and possibly could have come home with me.
But thank God to the ex-employees for reaching out and seeing let's get it right. Folks.
Yeah, and you know what? If this couple does get some kind of monetary compensation, which they obviously will, compensation. Sorry, I hope that they reward that employee for speaking up because obviously that employee doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah, and Hip has a good point in the chat room. Why does an employee have to be an ex-employee to stand up and say something? I mean, what's wrong with the current employees?
Maybe they were an ex-employee because of that day. We will never know. But yes, usually when somebody is disgruntled, that's when they go haywire and start saying things. But people need to speak up more. In the future when things like that happen.
Yes. No doubt. All right. What
Second
else we got?
story is hailing. We didn't get the who does that, did we?
Of course we did.
Oh. All right. must be running low on who does that today. An Arizona math teacher arrived drunk at her high school and hit the bottle again right there in the classroom while she was yelling at her students before one of the pupils alerted administrators, authorities said. Kathleen Jardine, 57 years old, a teacher at Poston Butte High School, Poston with a P, never heard of it, faces 1 count of public consumption of alcohol stemming from the incident on Wednesday in the community about 35 miles southeast of Phoenix, according to the county sheriff's office. Ramirez said a student called the office to alert them that Jardine appeared drunk and was yelling at the students. An on-site sheriff's deputy responded and said he could tell she was extremely intoxicated. Later, a school security officer found her in her classroom, also a bottle of vodka, half an empty single-serving bottle of white wine, and a half-empty bottle of an orange drink. So she's got some issues.
She's a lush puppy.
She admitted she had been drinking the night before and during lunch in her classroom.
Oh, wow.
Lunch is not mimosa time, honey. Jardine's blood alcohol level was 0.205% when tested, which would be called super extreme if she were to drive under the influence of that much alcohol, police said. So, honey, you didn't drink it the night before. That was just like a minute before they busted your ass.
Oh, my God.
She also acknowledged taking a taxi to the school and said it was because she felt like she was too drunk to drive. Well, that's nice of her.
Well, there you go.
Who
does that?
That's wonderful. She may not have a choice about whether to drive. Her cow was impounded. The car was impounded on Tuesday, and she was cited and released for driving under the influence. So she did not take a cab that day.
Who does that?
She could not be reached for comment. Learning math can be hard enough. I can't imagine trying to learn it from a drunk teacher, says Sheriff Paul Babbo in a statement, which is unbelievable. This is not the first time that she was drunk in the classroom, Jeff.
I can imagine.
She
looks like she's a repeat offender to me.
She was fired from a New Mexico school system in 2011 for the same exact offense while teaching.
Really?
She could be facing a charge of disorderly conduct stemming from the incident, public consumption. So she's in a lot of trouble.
Wow. Looks like a poor soul right there. It looks like she's in trouble.
She's in a lot of trouble.
Maybe she should go to rehab.
So
something about her life.
Yeah, who does that?
I mean, my God, I showed up drunk to school, but I didn't drive. I took a taxi. What the hell's your problem, people?
Yeah, I took
choosing
a cab.
Semi-good judgment, right?
Poor thing. Well, I mean, she's an alcoholic. Last story comes from North Carolina. A man who beat police officers in a donut eating contest this week soured after a newspaper story about his win led to his arrest on breaking and entering charges. Now, how does that happen? Bradley Hardison, 24 years old, of Elizabeth City, downed 8 donuts in 2 minutes during a contest last week at an anti-crime event, Jeff, hosted by the city's police department.
Oh, no.
That report caught the eye of Camden County's Sheriff's Lieutenant Max Robeson, who said his detectives have been trying to interview this guy for 9 months now, suspecting him of break-ins at 2 local businesses.
Wow.
Robinson says they brought Hardison in for questioning last week. I said, "Congratulations on your win last night," the man recalled, before arresting the man on criminal charges of breaking and entering and injury to real property. He remains in jail as of Friday, says the lieutenant.
Who does that?
Isn't that kind of creepy? Like, when the criminal does something, they return to the scene of the crime.
Of course they do.
Just to see how things are going.
Sure.
Did he think that by kind of, just chummy with the police doing a donut eating contest, like, I'm involved in my community?
Yeah.
It's those people that are involved in the community so much they have something to hide, right, Jeff?
Yeah,
we've seen that.
We've seen that.
We've seen that.
I don't know. If you're going to show up back at the police department, I don't know. Maybe he was. I guess it was rumored that he was arrested breaking in during break time and maybe just stealing all the Hostess snacks out of the vending machines. I don't know. Maybe he's Maybe he's
I don't know, but
he's an addict.
Stupid person. They probably got prints.
Maybe he should get himself a shane cake. Maybe a nice little cannoli.
I want to serve criminals.
Babies.
Oh, look at those. Oh, man.
Yumminess.
Kelly, we got to make some more cannoli shells. She's in the chat room.
So, you know what? If you're gonna show up and eat donuts and you're going to go back to jail, at least get a cannoli. I mean,
or you can get a half-cooked donut at Bolton Orchards.
There you go. But those are good. Those are wicked good. Don't be hating
good.
on those. We do want to remind you that Who Does That is brought to you by our friends over there at Leominster Storage Solutions. Thank you so much for supporting us in what we do. To find out more about them, you can call them at 978-466-8887 or visit them online at leominsterstorage.com.
Nice place.
All right, we got a lot more to cover. When we come back, Shannon, we're going to find out how private is privacy on the internet. And when you think, like, you got a new cell phone, you think you're wiping the old one?
Yeah.
We're going to find out some things that might alarm you. So stick around.
Yep.
You're watching Up for Discussion here on PararockTV.com. We'll be right back after this.
It's okay to cheat on your same old network with us. We won't tell.
Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. Tell me how long you gonna stay here, Joe. Some people say this town don't look good in the snow. You don't care, I know. Ventura Highway in the sunshine, where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine.
Welcome back to the weekly talk show where everything is up for discussion. And Shannon, just before the break, we were talking about privacy, not only on the internet, but also on your phone, your handheld mobile devices. And it's pretty alarming what we're finding out, not only about internet privacy, but we'll start with the cell phone, I guess. If you think you're wiping your cell phone out when you sell it, I got an interesting tidbit for you here. This developer and marketer of device-side security applications purchased 750 different cell phones, and what they did was they purchased cell phones from folks who had presumably wiped them clean, which means you go back to the application, you do a factory reset, you take off all your pictures, you take off all website addresses.
Yeah, we've
and
done that a
email
million
addresses.
times.
Well, this
factory
company,
reset?
This company, Avast, who did the study, reported that they were able to bring to life, out of these 750 phones, 40,000 photographs, Shannon. 40,000 photographs.
How is that happening?
Which included naked poses of 250 male students. That was just from 20 phones. They recovered over 10,000 Google searches, 7,500 emails, 250 contact names and email addresses, and 150 bank account information, pieces of bank account
this
information.
Is from people who did a factory reset on their phones.
These are for people who absolutely swear that they're going to sell you their phone on eBay, and they have wiped this phone clean.
So what do we do?
Well, what do? You hire a company to do it for you.
Oh, come on.
And companies can now do it pretty reasonably. But they say that the very best thing to do, Shannon, is to not sell that phone, to keep it. And,
that's not what a lot of Americans are doing.
Not put it
I mean,
back
I've got
out
a phone that's extra sitting downstairs I can probably get $50 for.
Well, see, $50 to me isn't that important when it comes to all of that privacy and security, because my old phone, same as your old phone, same thing, probably might do somebody some good. It's a smartphone, maybe a generation old. But what can you get for now? Maybe $50. You think about it.
Well, what's the point of a factory reset if it doesn't work? I don't understand.
I don't think it's a case where it doesn't work. I think it's a case where this is the Wild West, and people think that they're safe with their devices and things online. And I got to tell you right now, folks, you're not. If you think that you are erasing things on the internet, you're not. And how many crime shows, Shannon, have we watched where they go into the hard drive and they recover all this information, and the guy was trying to clean his cookies and all that other crap.
In like 2 minutes, they get a copy of an entire hard drive. Of course. I can't even download a JPEG in less than 10. I mean, all right. So my question is, they're claiming they're getting bank information, but even if somebody was to gain access to my bank account, you still need a password to log in. So.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this is. Can we get more information on this stuff?
Well, I think what's happening is that people are losing identities, and when it comes to maybe putting up a false profile somewhere, if somebody has 50 of your pictures and they want to pose as you online on a social website, let's say, pretty easy to do that when they've stolen all your information. They can make life really hellacious for you. I don't know if anybody in the chat room, anybody listening or watching here certainly wants to call in and be part of the conversation. We're going to put up the number here. It's 323-902-6661, and we certainly do welcome you guys to chime in the chat room. Let's hear what you're thinking. Has anybody ever had a situation where they had their identity stolen or they had an issue with an old cell phone? We definitely want to hear from you. Now, Shannon, I, for one, had partially my identity stolen when I was hot carded from my local bank and was told that my card was being used in Texas. So it's possible. It's possible. And think about all the TJ Maxx security issues and breaches.
Well, now Home Depot today. Well, DJ Dennis is saying he ordered a pizza, and they told him that he had a free pizza because it was his birthday that month. He's like, how the hell does the pizza shop know it was his birthday?
Oh, yeah.
Which chain is this, by the way? Because I want a free pizza on my birthday. But I always use a fake birthday when I sign up for things. I do, and I'm not going to give out what it is, but I don't give out my real birth date. That's very, very important because with that birth date, they can find out quite a bit. Papagenos, by the way. But I mean, if you're going to be buying something online, there's no need to give out your real birthday. Why? I mean, my doctor should have my birth date. That's about it. Maybe the government, like for taxes, but nobody has to know my real birth date.
Well, let's hope that the 3,000 people that go up on your wall and wish you happy birthday aren't connected to some sort of hack group somewhere that's going to take your information. Because it's pretty easy to find.
My father signed up for an identity theft program.
Okay.
And they actually called him recently to say that there was somebody in Wisconsin trying to set up something with his social security number and name.
No kidding. So
this happened within the last couple of months. And so, you sign up for these programs and you don't think it's ever going to happen to you. And it just happened to my father. So kind of scary. But the only problem is, I'm Googling all these identity theft protection programs. Mm-hmm. It's like a minimum of $10 a month. Sure. $120 a year. I mean, a lot of people might not care about that, but...
And what does it actually do, Shannon? I mean, we just heard today that the iCloud was hacked, and all of these celebrities
I don't use
have their new photos put on there, right?
What they do is they monitor your social security number. So anytime somebody goes to take out a credit card, take out a loan, it's out of state, it's not where you live, it's not an authorized thing. I know that the credit card companies sometimes watch your purchases if you're out of state or out of the country.
Right.
But these guys will be watching, and I believe there's some kind of insurance there so that if something was to happen, then they would back it up. But... I've had cards hacked before 1 billion times with my banks. They just cancel my cards on me, and then I get a new card. But I've never in my life had anything serious happen.
Well, you got to figure. I mean, if you're watching, there's a company that actually admitted to how they canvass you online and what they send you. And they look for your trends. They look for everything that you search for. And it's not a coincidence what pops up in your news feeds, what you get for spam and all that stuff. I mean, it's all controlled now by these, super marketing companies that are out there, developing stuff online.
Listen to this. I just found this. This is what I do when I'm not looking at the camera. I'm actually researching, guys, if I'm not moderating the chat room. allclearid.com. ALLCLEARID.com. It's free.
Okay.
It looks for companies that provide the all clear guarantee, make a purchase and get identity protection automatically. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it. We'll do the work to restore your credit. You're covered online and offline. You never have to worry about a purchase. It's paid for by participating merchants. No cost to you ever.
Wow.
So this might be an option, guys, if you want to look into it. I'm going to look into it personally.
It's not
sometimes
a bad idea.
Things might be too good to be true, but allclearid.com. I'm going to there's the basic protection, and then there's the pro version for $10 a month. So, I mean, maybe this has something. I mean, I don't know.
Well, everybody that I talk to that's in the field, in the IT field, it's a race. You know, you've got the bad guys and the hackers, and then you've got the good guys that are trying to put new encryptions in place to keep the bad guys away. And it's just every week. You know, it's a race to the finish line. I don't know. I believe in this day and age, Shannon. It's still the Wild West. I don't think anybody's safe online. And if you think you are, think again. You know, we just had nude photos of Jennifer Lawrence.
I heard.
Kate
what is
Upton,
she thinking?
And who else? Kate Upton, Jennifer Lawrence, and I don't know. Oh, Mila Kunis, I guess, was another one.
Oh, shocker.
And Scarlett Johansson.
Well, who hasn't seen her naked?
And
I've seen her naked.
And well, that's by choice, but we'll go into that another day. But you know, they were hacked on the iCloud where
Jennifer Lawrence, though, we were just talking about her last night. She's such a goody two shoes.
Well, not anymore. She's got the nudie photos out there.
Jeff, now you joke around with me because you're always like, hey, you know, like, what are we gonna do today? And you'll just be like, hey, let's make a porno. What do I say to you?
Well,
no,
the same thing that I'd say to you. There's no way.
In 11 years of marriage, coming close to getting my naked body on film. Yeah. Nothing. There's two people that see this body, my doctor and you. And that's the way it's going to be.
Bada bingo. And you know what? That's what I was going to say, really. For the ultimate protection, kids, ladies and gentlemen, radio fans, and folks of all ages, don't put your naked pictures anywhere online. Don't make a sex tape when you're drunk. Don't put up naked selfies when you're hammered, because 15 years from now they're going to come back and they're going to haunt you in the absolute worst way possible.
So stupid.
I mean, I don't know what people are thinking when they want to go up and put up nude photos. I mean, especially if you're an actress or an actor. I mean, maybe that's what you had to do to get there. Maybe that's just a common thread amongst the industry, Shannon, that you know, it's pretty common knowledge that anybody that got anywhere in Hollywood had to do a nudie, you know, along the way somewhere. But geez, if you think by chance that it could show up on social media, or you know, especially in this day and age, it wasn't like, you know, let's call it 20 years ago, like when we talked to Wesley Ure from Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
You know, there were only like 4 or 5 TV stations. It was super hard, you know, at that point, to be in touch with your fans. You were so distant from your fans and so isolated, and now you're so accessible. I mean, people can find you on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook right there in that little icon there on the bottom of the screen. You can find people on Twitter. What's the other one? They have Snapchat now, and what's the photo one that everybody does? Come on. Instagram, thank you. So everybody has an Instagram account, everybody has a YouTube account, and the Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and everybody's putting up all the photos, and boy, one wrong turn and one wrong photo, and somebody gets pissed off, there's a hacker out there ready to ruin your life. I guarantee you that. So
it's scary, guys. It's scary. Can I just say that allclearid.com gets an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. This is legit, guys.
Okay.
An A+ rating, so I'm signing up for allclearid.com. It does not hurt to have some kind of identity theft protection.
Oh, no.
It doesn't hurt, especially when it's free. So I'm excited.
Well, we were talking about it today. You know, everybody's using everything online today. And we were talking about, like, for example, folks that come into your business. Let's say, you know, the cleaning lady, or the painter, or somebody that's working for you. You know, people now come and go, and they may say, hey, I did this job for 4 hours, and it really only took them an hour and a half. I mean, how do you police these people now when everybody is so independent? Everybody's working from home, Shannon. Everybody's on their own time, kind of developing their own companies. It's a whole lot of different world out there. So, you know, we thought about doing something that was pretty interesting with like a QR code and, have people check in. Like what do we call it? Virtual time card. Virtualtimecard.com. Somebody you have a guy that's coming in and a plumber that's going to charge you by the hour, and he doesn't know how much it's going to cost. Well, when he walks in, have him with his little cell phone walk up to your computer screen and check in the time he gets there and check out the time he leaves. At least keep the guy honest. There's no way to tell nowadays. What do you do? What the hell do you do?
I don't know. I've got security at my shop, thank God, in case we ever need it. And it's come to use a couple times for humor.
Yeah. It has.
And, I had to throw this out because I threw it out in the chat earlier, but I don't think you caught it. According to statistics, the average American is videotaped 3 to 4 times a day.
I believe it.
Without them even knowing it.
Believe
so
it.
I would.
Oh, yeah.
My guess is the majority of that is through traffic because there are
Sure.
cameras all over Leominster now.
Sure.
Except for where there are railroad crossings. Still waiting on that Dean. But it's scary. It's scary stuff. But you know what? As scary as it is it really hurting us? Because I can see it helping more than hurting us. Yeah, privacy is an issue. But safety is more of an issue for me personally. I'd rather be safe than worry about who might see me picking my nose in traffic, honestly.
It's a double-edged sword, though, because you may give privacy away for the sake of safety, like you're saying. Okay, everybody, like if there's somebody that robs you and somebody might have it on video, boy, that could be helpful as far as identifying a potential perpetrator that may have snatched your purse and they catch it on camera.
Right.
But here's the double-edged sword. Now, and I'm going to pick on Facebook again. People go on Facebook. I'm leaving for lunch. I'm going downtown. I'm headed off for vacation. I'm checking in 2 hours away. I'm with these people, and we're not going to be home till tomorrow. Well, if I'm stalking out your house, folks, and I want to rob you, all I got to do is be a Facebook friend because I've got all the information they need.
Well, there are
people
people stupid enough to do that. I see that all the time. Like, sayonara, we're leaving the house empty. Keys under the mat.
Yeah, you might as well. Might as well leave the front door open.
We live in a secure building, thank God. So we have not ever been a victim of crime here, ever.
No.
But, there's a lot of people up there, especially the young ones.
Now, let me ask you. You think about it. If you and I lived in a rural setting, let's say in Princeton or Sterling or someplace with a little bit of woods, you couldn't see your neighbor, would you be as free with your information checking in
hell no.
places where we go and things like that?
Well, I rarely check in places, and this is a whole other conversation, but I don't have a problem checking into a restaurant or a place. There's got to be a reason why I'm doing that in the first place. And
but I mean, from a safety standpoint, if the situation was different and we lived in a single family home out in the woods, and let me just put this not as a you question.
What? I've seen people check in from home.
But let me put this as a general question to you, not a you question. But let's say that you're in a rural area and you're one of these people, or one of these people that are like, yeah, we're leaving now and we're going here and we're checking in and I'm with these people. Would you say anything to them? Would you warn them and say,
no,
you're kind of giving a lot of information out?
I'm not the police. I'll let somebody else deal with that problem. But if it was my sister and she is checking in from her home, there's somebody out in the Maryland area that we knew that would always check in from their home. Why? I mean, that is preposterous. Like, I would never give out my home address. If somebody wanted to find it, they could find it. But really, what is the point of that? I don't understand that. But if my little sister was up there checking in and then, or, going on Facebook saying I'm leaving for a week and then checking in somewhere in Florida, that's inviting people.
I think so.
I mean, if you and I go out to the winery for a couple samples of wine and we check in from there, if somebody really wanted to rob our house, it's still going to be difficult. That doesn't bother me so much.
It's more than a couple samples, Shannon. Let's just be honest about this. It's never just a couple samples. No, those that know us and have been to the winery with us know the rest of the story. There's no telling
it's there.
True. But before we wrap up, Shannon, I am a little pissed off about something, and I've been saying this to you behind the scenes, and I'm going to kind of say it out loud. And I'm wondering what the folks in the chat room think, and those that are going to be watching and listening think about this. But everywhere you turn, all of a sudden, it's ISIS, 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 ISIS. You hear it 50 times an hour with this stupid militant group's name.
Old.
And it's really, really starting to piss me off because yes, I care that there are militant groups out there that could potentially harm and bring catastrophe to the United States and our citizens and our loved ones and our military serving overseas. Do I need to hear their name rammed down my throat like a sports team 50 times an hour? No.
That really does irritate you.
I really
know.
do.
Every time they talk about ISIS on the TV, I hear in the background, ISIS. Nobody ever talked about ISIS before, and now it's ISIS,
Seriously.
ISIS.
I mean, and I don't, I have my theories as to why they're doing it. But, if I'm an able-bodied, able-thinking person, I'm saying to myself, why? Why in the world do you want to ram this? These are ruthless, murdering thugs is what they are. Who cares if they're organized? Who cares if they have a name? The only thing I care about is things like this. And, today we find out that American journalist Stephen Sotloff was killed by masked militants. And I'm not going to put their damn name up there, Shannon. I'm going to report this without saying their name for the rest of this broadcast, because these people are thugs. These people are murderers. These people have no regard for human life. And here is a journalist, an American journalist, has nothing to do with the military, is simply reporting news, bringing news to the world, and this is a personal vendetta and a personal attack against and to our president and to the American people. And I'll tell you right now, Shannon, something needs to be done about it. Number one, we are over there bombing the hell out of them again, and you sit there and you say to yourself, this is like 2001 all over again. I mean, this is like 9/11 just waiting to happen all over again.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like we've made any progress in the Mideast. And I've always said, if there's two of them left out there, they're going to be fighting each other because, to a certain extent, we don't belong there. We really don't. They have their world. There are places in the world where people have pets, like dogs and cats, and we love them and we nurture them and we save them and adopt them. And then there's places in the world where people eat dogs. And to them, it's perfectly acceptable. And to us, they're nut jobs, and they're barbaric, and they're Looney Tunes. But you know what? That's why they live over there, and we live over here. And, I don't know, but I just want to know if you guys listening and watching in the chat room and hearing us today, are you sick and tired of the news glorifying these people with the reports and the name over and over and over again? It sounds like a sports team. You're almost waiting for a lineup.
It was like the market basket stuff, Jeff. I mean, they're media whores. The media are their own media whores. Really, they just want to talk about things to death, and it's just that's what they do. That's what they've been doing. I mean, I know it aggravates you, but it's like those damn political ads on TV. It's just nauseating. It's repetitive. We get it. Yeah. And then there's people that work for the government that we know behind the scenes, and they say that half that stuff isn't even true. They would just want to talk about the bad all the time. But actually, I mean, people being beheaded is very serious. This is going to end up in a war against these people.
That's a major statement. I mean, they're just not, trying to kill Americans. They're trying to make a major statement, and they're putting this stuff out on social media, on YouTube, and they want the world to see it. They want to embarrass the United States, or think they're embarrassing the United States, and bringing things to a head like this. It's just going to get really, really, really ugly. I'll tell you that much. But we do want you guys to stay in touch with us when we're not on the air, and once again, you can do that by calling us at 323-902-6661. And Shannon, there is one particular individual that takes total advantage of this situation week in and week out. He loves to call. Sometimes he'll sing us a song. Sometimes he'll have a profound statement or a joke. But we do want to stay in touch with JT as well, and we want to hear what JT thinks.
Hello, Jeff and Shannon. JT from L.A. That's right, Shannon. The Leominster Boring area. Well, today is Monday, September 1st, Labor Day. And what better way to celebrate Labor Day than shop at Market Basket?
There we go.
I do my shopping usually on Fridays, but I waited until late Friday so that they would have time to stock a lot of the stuff. And they were getting there. I'd say they were about 75% there. The only thing I had to buy elsewhere was eggs, and I bought eggs, and they didn't have my kind of milk. They had milk, but they didn't have the small quart ones. But they're almost there. They're working like worker bees down there. But what better way to celebrate Labor Day? I guess that's what Labor Day is all about, celebrating the labor force of America.
There you go.
Well, Jeff and Shannon, bye-bye. I'm going shopping.
Miss you, JT.
Yeah, I know. That is a good way to celebrate Labor Day, and what a fitting way to bring that conflict to a close. You know, to have all of the forces at B, so to speak, come together and put the right man back where he belongs.
Yeah.
You know, and as everybody said so far, RDS and RDT were always the two owners, and I think it's always been said that RDT raised that company. I mean, he did all the work. He put all the blood, sweat, and tears, and Arthur S. more or less just took the ride. So that's why I think you saw the labor force stand behind him as strongly as they did, because they knew that he was the guy rolling up their sleeves, caring about them, and making Market Basket what it is today. So that's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool all the way around.
It's amazing. I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad that it's all over. You know, we shop there, so it's nice to be able to go back to home again and shop where we need to shop. I was just nauseated by how much the other stores were charging for stuff, and it's good to be back to normalcy. Yeah. So I'm very proud of you guys if you work at Market Basket for sticking up for what you believe in.
Oh, absolutely.
That means a lot.
Absolutely. We all are. We all are. It's been a long, let's call it almost 2 months that we've watched this thing unfold.
Yeah.
And, you know, when it started, nobody knew what was going to happen. It was just like everything else, and it could have got squashed. And everybody was waiting for, you know, the other shoe to drop and say, okay, well, this is cute. And everybody made a big deal about RDT, and now everybody's just going to kind of go away, and we're going to go back to normal. And no, it just gained momentum and momentum.
Yep.
And then everybody joined up, including the customers.
Yep.
You know, when you see the customers standing up and saying, I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money here until you people get your shit together and make it right.
Yep.
And I think that was just the coolest thing going.
Yeah. Amen.
Absolutely. So what do we got coming up next week? You're in a wedding, right? We're going to...
we are headed to Coldwater, Michigan. Don't check in, because then someone will rob us.
No.
We're going to be there till Monday, so it's going to be a rough go, man. We got a lot of stuff to do this weekend for this wedding. So pictures will follow. Our great chatter here, if you're familiar with the show, Amy Greenhow is getting married.
That's awesome.
To her very best friend and high school sweetheart, Chris Crabtree. So it's going to be a beautiful time. 250 guests coming to this wedding, so it's a pretty big wedding, and just looking forward to the big day. And that's why she's not in the chat room tonight, because she is pulling her hair out this week.
Oh, you would think maybe she's
as
busy.
well as am I.
And you're the matron of honor.
I am
right?
a matron of honor,
Right,
so I have to fluff the train and make sure she's bustled, and I have to make sure.
You guys you were discussing bathroom plans.
We were talking about how she's going to go potty. I'm glad you were overhearing that conversation. So we do have to make sure that plan is down.
And just because we have about a minute left, we are transitioning that whole wedding scene in a month down the road to you and I, sweetheart.
Yep, we are going to renew our vows after 11 years of marriage in Concord on October 4th. So very special celebration for the both of us. And some people are asking why 11 years. And
who does that?
We do.
Who does? Well, I was getting romantic, but okay, you just squash that.
Well, we do. We have. Go ahead.
It's all good. No, it's just, you know what? Maybe it is romantic, and it's just a confirmation of our love and a whole new chapter in our life. So, 11 years, it's a good lucky number, and let's just have a party.
Kind of a celebration of love, right?
Yeah.
You put up with me this long, even though we're still kind of on a trial basis. We're working through a few things, but we'll be okay. Right?
Yeah.
On that
refunds
note,
with receipt.
We want to thank everybody for joining us, watching us on your handheld mobile devices around the world, watching and following us on LA TV in the Leominster area. And until next time, guys, we hope you have a good week. We'll see you next time. Good night.
I must admit you got your claws in me.